River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Niner Nuts. I'm Dan here along with James. James, say hello.
What's up, Niner Nation?
And for the first time since, well, technically the NFC Championship, but for the first time since, I didn't actually pull that up. For the first time in a long time, in 12, 13 regular season games, depending on where you count, we are mourning a loss in the regular season. We fell to the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland to a score of 19-17, and just wasn't a good game all around. It wasn't a good game anywhere, any way you look at it. The stats, I'm trying to flip them over here. Purdy finally looked human for the first time. He completed less than half his passes, only 125 yards, a touchdown, and his first pick of the year. He only had a 55 quarterback rating. None of our running backs did very good. Our only receiver to have meaningful amount of yards was Brandon Ayuk, and most of that was from two catches, especially that very last one he caught. Well, then on the Cleveland side, PJ Walker had almost 200 passing yards. He did have 2 picks and no touchdowns, but so his rating's actually worse. He actually has a 45 rating somehow, but 2 picks will do that. But they ran over 160 yards on us on the ground. We gave up 100 yards to Amari Cooper. No one else in the passing game, surprisingly, had that good a game. But this wasn't a game of offenses. This was a game of defenses. We were the number 3 defense coming into this game. They were the number 1 defense. And I'll admit, because I didn't really pay attention to Cleveland football, it should have been a little bit more of a red flag for me that there was a good 40 yards average difference between them and number 2 for total yards of defense. But I thought, it's Cleveland. They played Tennessee. They played yada, yada. Like, they played the Steelers. Like, we should handle these guys fine. Walker's playing quarterback. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. That front 7 in Cleveland, kudos to them. They were fierce. They were disrupting everything that we were doing. The man coverage that they dared us to play against, those corners and safeties are very, very good in Newsome and Ward. I knew Ward was good coming in, but Newsome was amazing. Their safeties were great. And their defensive coordinator, James, remind me of that guy's name. He was the Denver.
Oh, Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I didn't know this, but whenever Kyle Shanahan is calling it coordinator or head coach, apparently Jim Schwartz is 9-1 against him in the last 10 meetings.
It doesn't surprise me because Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So
Jim Schwartz was the defensive coordinator when we won the Super Bowl. And yeah, I mean, you guys had a backup quarterback that year when we played you guys, but still his defense destroyed your offense that year when we played you guys. Like, it was a bad year for you guys. I think you didn't have a quarterback answer whatsoever. And
which year was this?
2017 when we played you. We played you in the year we won the Super Bowl and we crushed you.
You would have been probably playing Hoyer or Beathard, maybe.
It was Beathard. It was beat hard.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
that makes sense. Beathard didn't really pan out for us.
So anyway, but yeah, I mean, I didn't know that stat about Jim Schwartz versus Kyle Shanahan, but
I literally found that out this morning. Like, it was on Good Morning Football. I watched their blurb about our game, and yeah, I didn't know Jim Schwartz was the one coach that knows Kyle Shanahan better than anybody. Like, the only really notable other losses I can even think of is Andy Reid, obviously, and then Bill Belichick. But Belichick's just a genius. Like, when he actually has the right players, we should say now. but yeah, no, Jim Schwartz, dude, game ball to him. He figured us out. He made Purdy look human. Completely erased our passing game. Our running game was very hit and miss. But it was it wasn't entirely out of grasp. That's the thing that I'm like, I would have been sad if it was a colossal beatdown, but I really hope in the way that the Cowboys were saying it was humbling, the way that we pummeled them. The fact that both Cleveland and San Francisco, we both were just dogfighting with our defenses back and forth and back and forth, and both of us could have put the other one away very easily multiple times. I forgot the quarterback's name already. Not Purdy. The Cleveland one.
PJ Walker.
Walker should have been picked off like 4 more times. Purdy really could have had more than one pick too. But I'm thinking also of the missed kicks. We both missed kicks. Moody's not perfect anymore. I'm also really bummed out about that. He missed the game winner too, which breaks my heart for him. His first attempt at a real legit game winner, and he missed it. God, I feel so bad for him. But
yeah,
but that's part of the opportunities I'm talking about. Cleveland didn't capitalize on the interception off of Purdy. We almost picked off Walker in the end zone. It hit Odom in the hands, and he dropped it. And then again, the missed kicks, and then all the. I don't know if we want to spend too much time on it, but Jesus Christ, dude, 25 penalties for over 200 yards between the two of us. Like, I can't even complain about it because, like, when you I had to watch the game late, full disclosure, but while I was watching the game and I saw that the flags were going both sides, like, they were being just as ticky-tacky on the Browns as much as us, so I can't really complain that much. I can complain that it was just a bad crew in general, but
yeah, it definitely was, and especially on that last Cleveland drive where they took the lead. I mean, those 2 penalties they called on them were BS. But I mean, even with that,
getting a lead off, I understand it looked more vicious than it was, and they weren't going to go under the booth for the Gibson hit, but that was so ticky-tacky, the Mooney hold. That to me looked like his hand was just on his back, open palm, not grabbing him. But I mean, it's the bigger point I'm trying to say is that both of us had multiple opportunities. It was like we were both trying to give each other the win. And yeah, if Moody didn't miss either kick, but then that would have been a 4th down stand that we would have had to done, and maybe Cleveland would have scored a touchdown. And I went through this whole rabbit hole yesterday about like so many, well, what if this happened? What if that happened? The reality is that it was very, very sloppy. We did not execute very well. And really, even if Moody got the kick, yes, of course, I'd be celebrating. We're 6-0, and I'm not going to lie and pretend I wouldn't be like, oh, well, hey, a win's a win. Like, of course I would. But no, I hope this is an eye-opening game. Like, it reminded me, and I guess I personally needed that reminder that, oh yeah, it's football. Any given Sunday does apply to you guys, even though, we lost that NFC Championship game from bizarre injury, and we hadn't lost a regular season game in damn near a year. Yeah, we can lose just like anybody else, and it was kind of nice because I feel like I was taking that for granted how good we had been in the regular season up to this point. So my rant's over.
But I mean, I think we learned a couple of lessons too this year too in betting. Like, both the 49ers and Miami crushed at home against an opponent and then went on the road the following week and pretty much, didn't do so well because they were high off their win, and maybe we take that in consideration next time we bet, because these home wins that are so pummeling, like both of those were, if they're going on the road the next week, they're high off that win, and it's hard to keep that momentum going when you have a team that's like, okay, they are really good now, we really need to step up. And when you're 5-0, when you're undefeated, everybody wants to take your O away from you, and that's what happened this week. This was happened to you guys, this is what happened to the Eagles, and it's just people, it's just football. That's just what it is. And I mean, you have to just sort of, like, as Jalen Hurts says, flush it and move on to the next game, and just sort of have a bad memory about what happened, so.
Yeah, the 48-hour rule. I think I might have heard Harbaugh say that the first time I heard that term of phrase. Do you know the 48-hour rule?
I don't think I'm familiar with it, but go ahead.
It's basically celebrate for 48 hours or mourn the loss for 48 hours, and then it's game time. Like it coincides with most team schedules where you play on Sunday, you're off on Monday. Some teams come back Tuesday, most teams come back on Wednesday, but once the Monday and Tuesday have passed, like it doesn't matter that you won, it doesn't matter that you lost. It's basically going back to zero, trying to approach every week that it's 0-0. It's don't listen to any of the noise outside. Like stop celebrating, stop mourning. Like get your helmet on and let's practice because we got another game coming up.
Yeah,
that's more or less the 48-hour rule. And
well, I mean they're gonna have to use the 48-hour rule. Mourn this loss and then move on next week to the Vikings, which I think they'll be prepared for. The Vikings in prime time with Kirk Cousins against the 49ers. Yeah, I think that's the 49ers are going to regroup, and that's going to be pretty much an easy win. They're going to come back in and say, hey, that was just a one fluke game. Let's go out there and crush the Vikings and Kirk Cousins in prime time.
I think we're going to be, I honestly think we're going to be okay. Like, yeah, I was emotional and kind of bummed out about it yesterday, but really we haven't had an undefeated team since that Dolphins team. Like, this is part of where the taking it for granted kind of came in. I was just like, okay, we lost to the Browns by 2 points in crappy weather against. Now I know they're the number one defense in the league for a reason. They were a really, really, really good defense. And I'm not going to project onto them that they were underprepared or anything or underestimated them. It's clearly nobody expected that game to go that way. Purdy didn't play good. Warner and the whole defense didn't play that good. I bet the defense is going to be talking about, hey, maybe we were too worried about getting to Walker, a backup quarterback, and we let them run over 150 yards on us on the ground with 2 backup running backs. Because the man coverage, our man coverage didn't do that bad on defense. We picked him off twice. The only plays that were really bad were the one where Demo literally just slipped and fell, and then Cooper ran for 40 yards. And his other amazing catch was just a jump ball. Ward was covering him perfectly. There was nothing else that he could do. Cooper high pointed it perfectly. And then, Moody's going to be beating himself up enough. I know.
Well, Moody after the game said the loss was on him. That's what his quotes were. He's like, I had a chance to win the game for the team, and
he didn't shank it that bad though. Yes, a miss is a miss and a make's a make, but I like to think that I like to take into consideration how bad it was. It really wasn't that bad. It
wasn't a Vanderjack miss.
No, it was. I like to. I imagine that with just how windy it is there. I guess he thought that it needed to hook a little this way or that way, and then the wind just took it because it really wasn't that. It really wasn't that bad a miss. It was maybe a foot off. It wasn't going to doink, but no, he's going to be beating himself up a lot, and I hope that doesn't pull him down too much. And I feel like the locker room is going to hoist him up pretty good. I feel like the culture in our locker room is incredibly supportive, and especially, we'll get to see now. This is the first time that these guys have had a loss that wasn't caused by an act of God taking both our quarterbacks out.
Yeah, it wasn't coordinated by a backup tight end and a guy who was arguably one of the best defensive players in the league last year. So
this is our first big team loss. Let's put it that way. This was our first full top-down team loss that we've had in basically a year. It's a hard pill to swallow because we could have won that game in so many opportunities. But I'm trying to finish my 48-hour rule. We are taping this on Monday the 16th. I'm finishing my 48 hours, and yeah, I'm just a fan, of course, but I'm finishing my 48 hours. I think the Vikings is a very realistic opportunity for us to have a bounce back game. It's on Monday night. We're in a dome. Kirk Cousins' O-line is not that good. Justin Jefferson's going to be out of the game. I think it'll be a nice bounce back for us, depending on how these injuries go. Because I think we need to talk about that before. I think we need to talk about that now before we have to move to the next one. The injuries that we had in the game are notable names, but fortunately, at least as of right now, I haven't seen otherwise, are not that bad. Christian McCaffrey has an oblique, which is like your side, like in your ribs. We don't know the results of that MRI yet. We might get that result while we're taping, though. But as of right now, it's just he's questionable at minimum. Deebo Samuel hurt his shoulder. X-rays were negative, but was clearly in enough pain that he can play the rest of the game after the first quarter. And then Trent Williams avoided a high ankle sprain from his X-ray, but is clearly going to be day-to-day with a sore ankle. And then George Odom was banged up a little too, but I mean, he's mainly a special teamer.
Right.
Oren Burks was who I should have said. Oren Burks dropped would have been end zone interception. But yeah, George Odom, he's he's an amazing special teams player, but he got banged up a little too, but I didn't see that it was anything serious with him. So, I mean, I don't know. I know you're the Eagles fan, but like, is it reassuring pending the CMC MRI that at least the injuries don't appear to be that bad, and we do have the extra day to rest up for the Vikings?
I mean, yeah, if they don't appear to be that bad, but really, how much is it? Like, it is bad, but we're going to play through it because, guys have done that in the past. Like, they've just sort of said, oh, it's fine. And then the next thing you know, they played the whole season with a torn rotator cuff or broken ribs or something like that. And you just, honestly, like, I wouldn't put it past Shanahan just to sort of, and the organization just to sort of say, yeah, it's day to day, and just, they'll be fine. They'll come back, whatever. And just,
Deebo will only not play unless the only reason Deebo won't play is if his arm or leg or whatever extremity is literally broken in half. That man is just filled with, it's not muscle. He's got some sort of padding inside his body that somehow he can get the crap beat out of him and not even miss a week. So I don't know. I am half joking, but Deebo, out of all those injuries, if one of them was going to miss the game, I wouldn't put my money on Deebo. Deebo literally has to like die on the field. No, like not putting that out there, but
yeah,
no offense, Hamlin, but but no, I don't know. Hopefully the Christian MRI says it's just a strain in his oblique. Cause I mean, that one, I don't know, of all the injuries, of all those, the one I want the least to happen. I would rather have Trent Williams out of the game than Christian McCaffrey or I would rather have both Deebo and Trent, getting tongue-tied, over CMC. I really don't want, we are going to be in a really bad spot if CMC actually has to miss time.
Well, I mean, you're going to lose somebody really explosive on offense. And, he's been, primarily who the offense has been run through the first 6 games of the season. And him being out with an oblique injury, yeah, that's not good. So you hope it's just something that he can play through. That's something that, if it doesn't get worse as the season goes on, if he takes those hits, whatever. So but we'll see. We'll see if he comes back and if he can play, and if he can play, is he going to be 100% like he was before he got injured?
At least it's not his ankle or knee. Like, I mean, I'm taking a little solace in that at least it's not his foot. It's not anything to do with his legs. Like, I hope that because it's just his side. I've never had a side injury like what he might be experiencing. It was bad enough that he came out for one play and then had to leave. Like, I remember seeing him come out, and he's a tough dude. If he said that he needed to go to the locker room, I can't imagine how painful that is compared to if we were experiencing that pain. But I don't know. Fingers crossed. Your watch may even tell me, may even tell us before my phone does if we get the MRI results today. But just disclaimer, yeah, we don't know the result of the MRI yet. Anyway, God, this game was just so much to unpack. It was quite an emotional roller coaster. Like, I literally watched the last 2 minutes live, but I had to watch the rest of the game after the fact. And funny story, on YouTube TV, the DVR recording literally cut away to the Bucks and the Lions before the Niners' last drive. So thank God I saw that live, because I couldn't watch it on the DVR recording for some reason.
Oh man, that's
I don't know why. Maybe if I clicked something else, I don't know. But I was fast forwarding after that last commercial break. I was like, all right, well, I'll get to watch Moody miss his kick, and then nope, it was whoever the head Fox booth is, and then it was the creamsicles and the silver, and I was like, what the hell? It's literally one drive. Like, do you guys not appreciate that it's a 2-point game with less than 2 minutes left? What's happening?
I mean, they literally said, according to NFL rules, that's what they said. They're like, according to NFL rules, we have to go to Bucks Lions. And so
I didn't hear that explanation. I was just skimming through it, and I was just like, why do I see the creamsicles now? Like,
yeah, but luckily I was able to put it on the actual stream broadcast and still watch it. So I did not miss the Jake Moody miss.
Yeah, I did see it live. It was, again, that was just the replay when I was watching the whole game, because I'm a professional. I was going to watch this entire game, damn it. Like, come hell or high water, if win or loss, I'm watching the entirety of every game.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I was at my mom's house, and I just I stream casted off my phone onto the TV, because she's got a Roku TV.
Right.
So I was sitting. I know this is a big tangent. I was sitting there thinking I had to watch the Bears game, and I was like, "You idiot! You can cast it off your YouTube app." And then I did that, and I just had to. I was barely paying attention to it because I was doing stuff, but I at least had it in the background for the occasional couple times I did walk in front of the TV.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. I got nothing else really to say other than I hope we never have this officiating crew ever again. I've never seen referees actually apologize for getting a call so wrong. That kick return where they blamed it on Cleveland when they should have blamed it on Ambry Thomas. You remember that?
Yeah.
I never want this crew again. They were so ticky-tacky, and I don't know, I guess you would call it my San Francisco version of Yinzer, is like, you cost us the game on the last drive, you earmuffs. Like, I was so mad about that last drive, dude.
Yeah, that last drive was just it just felt like the refs were too much a part of the game, especially on that last drive. And
25 flags for over 200 yards. You don't even need to go deeper than that. Like,
yeah,
that's the kind of game we had.
Yeah, for sure.
It went both ways, though. I mean, to be kind of fair, Cleveland and us each had over 10 penalties. We each had at least 10 penalties. What was it, 25 total at the end? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
It was bad.
I'm ready to move. I'm ready to move on. This was a loss, but we're still fine. We're 5-1, guys. It's no reason to sound the alarms yet. Minnesota's coming up, and we should be fine against them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So with that, our sponsor for the show, RoyalRetros.com. What's RoyalRetros.com? It is your go-to place for authentic throwback athletic jerseys. They got football, basketball, baseball, hockey, all the major sports. I'll double check with you on soccer, but I can't imagine many soccer fans listen to this. But if you want to just stand out in the crowd, or if you want to celebrate an older time for your franchise, maybe you're more successful than you are now, go to royalretros.com. They have absolutely beautiful designs. Some franchises that don't even exist anymore are on there. And they have some awesome 49ers Golden Gate era themed. I can't. James, remind me the name of that.
The Candlestick Collection.
Thank you, Candlestick. I didn't want to get that wrong. The Candlestick Collection's on there now for Niners fans. If you want to go and check that out, go to royalretros.com. And if you like anything, use our promo code Shady Sports to get 10% off of your order. It's not just one item. It's your entire cart will get 10% off if you use the code Shady Sports again at checkout. It's royalretros.com. Go get yourself an authentic throwback jersey today, James.
All right, guys. So if you follow the show, you know we've taken up a mantle of bringing owner accountability to the NFL due to the fact that they sat on some very serious information. One in particular, the Houston Texans minority owner was charged for some serious sexual crimes in Kentucky. The NFL knew about it for 3 months before they reported on it. And we all know if that was a player, we would have heard about it the next day as soon as they were charged. So we're trying to bring owner accountability to the NFL. That's why we are starting a hashtag. Owner standards are less than player standards. Hashtag owner accountability. And to show you we put our money where our mouth is, guys, we are selling shirts for charities that will be going to a Kentucky Crisis Center. You can get that at bonfire.com by Googling Niner Nuts Apparel. But right here, owner standards, less than player standards, hashtag owner accountability. This is the statement we're trying to make. All t-shirts start at $22.99, but you can get this in different styles at different prices and different colors as well. Our next t-shirt is the standoff t-shirt. Basically, Dan Snyder in the standoff with some other owners. $22.99 gets this t-shirt, and you can get it in a pullover hoodie or crew neck sweatshirt as well. Our next t-shirt is our podcast logo art. $22.99 gets you that in a t-shirt. You can get that in different styles. This is the podcast logo art that you'll find on Spotify or at the beginning of the show or Apple Podcasts. You will see this. You can get it on a t-shirt for $22.99. Our next one is our alternate t-shirt logo, the Niner Nuts logo with just out the background. I have this shirt, very nice quality, $22.99 gets you that. And plus we have that in different styles and different colors as well. And then finally, our Niner Nuts mascot. How can you say no to a peanut eating peanuts on the couch while watching and cheering for his San Francisco 49ers? $22.99 gets you that cool t-shirt, and you can have that in different styles and different colors as well. So go to bonfire.com, Google Niner Nuts Apparel. You will find that stuff there. So it's when you Google Bonfire Niner Nuts Apparel, it's literally the first thing that comes up. It knows what you want, and just click that link and support a Kentucky Crisis Center today.
Yes, it's our way of giving back. We love the football community and what football brings to all of our lives and all the good that football does. But we think it's, like James said, we think it's kind of hypocritical when the owners don't get held to the same standards that everyone else does just because they're owners and have so much money and power and whatnot. We want to do our part to raise awareness of this, and we don't want any money off these shirts. We want you to have a cool shirt, and we want to help somebody's life in Kentucky.
That's right, guys. All proceeds go to the Kentucky Crisis Center. We are not taking a dime for any of these t-shirts that are sold.
Yep. Okay. And
any news for us, Dan?
I have not received any updates on Christian McCaffrey yet. They have not disclosed what came from that MRI. That's probably going to be on the 17th. So unfortunately for here, just keep an eye out on X and all the socials for that. We don't have that breaking news. Hopefully it's just a muscle strain and not a broken rib. A broken rib would be really bad news. In fact, I'm actually going to check the website formerly known as Roto World, just to be sure. And nope, Christian McCaffrey just had his MRI today. That's the only thing. There's no results of the MRI yet. So no, that's the only news I kind of care about right now too. I don't even care that the Cowboys are playing the Chargers while we're taping, honestly.
yeah. I'm not even going to watch that because it is game one. It is game one of the NLCS, so I'm not even watching Monday Night Football. I don't care to give the Cowboys. I'm not going to watch the Cowboys when the Phillies are on. No way.
Dude, October baseball. This is your time right now. I'm very happy you guys are. Who'd you say you're playing again?
We're playing the Arizona Diamondbacks, who I'm very scared of. Like they're just playing with house money. They're playing with house money. So like nobody expected them to even get into the playoffs, and now they're here, and now they're in the NLCS. Like
is Bumgarner still a Diamondback?
He may be, but I don't think he's on the roster. I don't think he's on. He may have gotten hurt or something. I don't think he's on the roster anymore, or even on the playoff roster, because nobody's talked about him.
Oh, okay. No,
as far
he's
as, pitching.
We're well past 2012.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting him to have been an impact player. I could have swore I saw that he signed with the Diamondbacks a while ago. Not that that would assuade me from cheering for Philly tonight. I don't know. Bumgarner did such an amazing job on the 2012 World Series.
Yeah, I know all about Bumgarner. So yeah, but we don't have to listen to Joe Buck say his name 232 times. So
who's gonna call? Is it gonna be Kevin and Greg calling the World Series now?
No, I don't think so. I think it's gonna be. I don't even know who's gonna be calling. I'm trying to think who called the World Series last year, but it wasn't them. They're not.
It would have. Oh yeah, it would have been last year. Would have been the first World Series without Joe Buck.
Yeah,
I should ask my. I actually don't know if my Patriots fan. He's a Phillies fan too. I just don't know if he wants me to say his name on mic. I don't know if he I don't know if he would know who the announcers are. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, outro music, River Road, Justin Muth.
We'll see y'all Monday night. Beat the Vikings.
River Road, you got me running way back home. River Road, you got me running all night long. You got me singing some canal boat song. River Road, you got me running all night long. River Road, where have all the women gone? Have they kissed her hand and waved you bye-bye? Have they thought about crossing your double yellow lines? River Road, they love the way you whine and cry.